Listen, this is not a coincidence. You didn't just stumble onto this word by accident. You were summoned here drawn by a pull in your spirit that you couldn't quite explain. Something inside you said, "Stay. Don't scroll. This is for me." And you were right. Because heaven has been watching your storm, and God sent me to tell you that storm was never sent to destroy you. It was your training. Every wind, every wave, every tear that fell in the dark, it was shaping you into someone unbreakable. You've been asking God, why did it have to be this hard? Why did the people I trusted turn away? Why did I have to lose what I loved most? And heaven replies, because I was building your strength in secret. Because the oil you carry cannot be cheap. Because what's coming next in your life requires a level of faith that can't be shaken by storms. You see, chosen one storms reveal what sunshine can never teach. They strip away illusions. They silence the noise. They leave you standing face to face with what's real. Your faith, your calling, your God. And I know you've been tired. You've been walking through days that felt like endless rain and wondering if God still hears you. But the reason it's been so intense lately is because the training is almost over. You are stepping out of the storm and into the stage of glory. God's glory is about to follow you, not as an idea, but as visible evidence. People who once questioned your endurance will have to acknowledge your anointing. This word is not about punishment. It's about preparation. The pain was the process. And now the process is producing the promise. God says, I hid you in the storm, so I could reveal my glory through you. You endured what others escaped because I was strengthening your voice. You are my vessel, refined by fire, trained by trial, prepared by pain for my glory. So listen carefully now, because what's coming next is not a warning, it's a revelation. The same storm that tried to break you has positioned you for divine recognition. And what follows you now is glory. You may not realize it yet, but heaven has been orchestrating every step of your training. When you were crying out in confusion, wondering if God had abandoned you, angels were recording your endurance. Every moment you chose faith over fear. Every time you got back up when no one saw, it was documented in heaven's archives. There is divine evidence attached to your name. This message is not a coincidence. It is a dispatch from the throne room. It is heaven's confirmation that your storm season has completed its purpose. And now, the same God who allowed the waves to rise is about to command them to be still. You see, storms in the physical often mirror storms in the spirit. When the winds come, they are not random. They are signals. They signify that something unseen is being stirred, a new dimension, a deeper revelation, a higher assignment. And for the chosen ones, storms are never meant to drown. They are meant to train. God says, I took you through fire because you were too precious to remain untested. I allowed shaking because what I am about to build on you must be unshakable. I let the rain fall not to ruin you, but to water the seeds I planted in you long ago. You've been through things that others wouldn't have survived. You've carried pain that few would understand. But what you didn't know is that your endurance was an act of prophecy. Every tear was a declaration, I'm still standing. I still believe. And now heaven is responding to that faith. The season of silence is breaking. The delay that once frustrated you is about to make sense. Because your process wasn't punishment, it was promotion in disguise. When God trains his chosen, he does it privately. He allows you to be misunderstood, overlooked, and underestimated, not because you lack value, but because he is guarding your development. What looked like isolation was incubation. What felt like exile was preparation for exposure. There is a shift happening right now, subtle but undeniable. Heaven is transitioning you from survival to significance. The storm taught you how to pray differently, how to discern faster, how to move, when God whispers instead of waiting for Him to shout. That is training. And now that your spirit has learned obedience in the storm, the glory can follow you in peace. So hear this clearly. You didn't lose time. You gained depth. You didn't lose people. You gained purity. You didn't lose battles. You gained authority. The training is complete, and God's glory is about to make it public. What's being birthed now is not another season of endurance. It is the unveiling of what the storm produced inside you. For so long, everything felt hidden. Your prayers unheard, your gifts unseen, your purpose delayed. But hear this with the ears of your spirit. Heaven never forgot the investment. The years of pressure were compounding interest in the unseen realm, and the return is about to manifest in the open. There is movement in the atmosphere. Doors that refused to budge are beginning to tremble at your approach. What you once had to chase is now being drawn toward you by divine magnetism. This is what it means when God says, His glory will follow you. It's not just favor. It's a shift of gravitational pull. Where you go, light will break open. Where you speak, chains will lose strength. Where you stand, territory will respond. The storm trained you to walk with authority, but now the glory marks you with visibility. You will notice it first in small ripples, unexpected calls, open invitations, sudden peace where there used to be panic. Then it will swell into waves. Resources aligning relationships, redeemed strategies flowing like breath. You will not have to strive. The wind that once opposed you is now at your back. God's glory follows those who have proven trustworthy with pain. And you, the one who refused to quit, have become a vessel that can carry it. This glory isn't decoration. It's delegation. It means heaven trusts you to represent it on earth. It means the same hands that wiped your tears now place the mantle of influence upon your shoulders. There will be evidence. Where there was shame, there will be radiance. Where there was scarcity, there will be overflow. Where there was confusion, there will be clarity so sharp it silences the accuser. The prophecy is unfolding quietly but powerfully. Even now, people who once dismissed you are sensing the shift but can't explain it. They'll say you seem different, more centered, more luminous, more at peace. What they're perceiving is not a new version of you. It's the unveiled presence of God surrounding you. Do not minimize what is happening. The glory that follows you is not applause or attention. It is alignment. It is heaven echoing your yes. You have become synchronized with divine timing. Every delay, every detour, every heartbreak calibrated you for precision. Now the rhythm of your life matches the heartbeat of God's plan. And when that happens, miracles no longer feel like accidents. They become the new normal. The right people arrive at the exact moment. Provision lands before the need is spoken. Opportunities unfold without manipulation. This is the life of the trained, the ones who weathered storms and learned the language of stillness. Listen carefully. You are stepping into a realm where your obedience carries creative power. What you decree in faith will start to materialize because your words have been purified by the wilderness. Heaven trusts your voice now. That's why the storm couldn't end sooner. Your authority was still in formation. But now the heavens record the training has achieved its purpose. And so the prophecy continues. Wherever you tread, I will tread with you. My glory will not precede you to outshine you, nor lag behind to catch you, but will surround you, a fire by night, a cloud by day. I will make you recognizable to blessings that once overlooked you, and I will make you invisible to traps that once pursued you. The unveiling is both external and internal. Within, you'll sense greater discernment, the ability to feel truth before it's spoken. Externally, you'll notice circumstances aligning in patterns too precise to call coincidence. This is the orchestration of glory. It's heaven's signature on your survival. So breathe. The storm's roar has become your rhythm. The lightning that once frightened you has become your illumination. Every scar now glows like prophecy fulfilled. And as you move forward, you won't need to announce the change. Your presence will testify of it. The prophecy has been unveiled. The storm was training. The glory is following. Every storm in your life carried a secret message, a divine curriculum hidden within chaos. At first, all you could see were waves, loss, disappointment, betrayal. But beneath the noise, heaven was whispering, "This is how I teach endurance. This is how I mature faith." You see, storms are not punishments. They are classrooms. They strip away what is temporary so that what is eternal can stand revealed. When everything familiar is shaken, only truth remains. That's why God allowed the shaking, not to break you, but to reveal what could not be broken. The spiritual principle is simple, but profound. God never trains greatness in comfort. Oil is pressed from crushing. Diamonds are formed through pressure. Even Jesus' scripture says, "Learned obedience through the things he suffered." And you, though weary, have learned the same. You've discovered that worship in the storm carries a different sound. It's raw, unpolished, but powerful. It doesn't seek applause. It seeks alignment. It says, "Even if you don't change the storm, change me inside it." And when that kind of surrender happens, heaven opens. The storm stops being your enemy and becomes your teacher. The deeper meaning is that storms reveal identity. Anyone can believe when the sun is shining. But only the chosen know how to trust when vision is blurred by rain. Only those called by name can stand when everything else collapses and still whisper, "I know my Redeemer lives." That whisper became your weapon. That endurance became your evidence. That faith became your fragrance, the aroma that draws heaven close. When God says his glory follows you, it's not about light beams or visible halos. It's about essence. The divine essence now lingers in your atmosphere. The same spirit that sustained you in the storm now walks with you into new territory. You are not returning to normal life. You are returning transformed. Where others see routine, you now perceive revelation. Where others see delay, you now sense divine timing. Where others see coincidence, you now discern orchestration. That is spiritual maturity, the ability to see God not only in blessings, but in battles. You've been rewired for discernment. What once triggered you now trains you. What once frightened you now fuels you. It's because storms remove false dependencies. They force you to rely on grace instead of control. And grace, that invisible current, has been carrying you all along. Do you remember those nights you thought you wouldn't make it? The nights where anxiety sat heavy on your chest and silence felt unbearable. You weren't abandoned. You were being rewoven. God was recalibrating your soul, tuning it to a higher frequency, so that when his glory arrived, you could sustain it. Because glory without character collapses. Power without purity corrupts. Favor without foundation fractures. The storm was heaven's mercy. It ensured that when the light found you, you wouldn't mistake it for your own. You would know this is God, not me. So now when he blesses you, you'll handle it differently. You'll give freely because you know how it feels to lack. You'll forgive easily because you know what bitterness costs. You'll trust deeply because you've learned that faith works best in darkness. Every storm rewrote your spiritual DNA. You no longer chase validation, you carry verification. You no longer seek applause, you radiate assignment. And this is why the glory follows, because heaven recognizes its reflection in you. The principle is eternal glory always follows alignment. When your will and God's will move in rhythm, miracles cease to be interruptions. They become daily language. You've entered that rhythm. Your spirit now walks in sync with divine timing. And so every new day is not random. It's rehearsed by heaven. You'll begin to feel nudges, gentle pushes toward people, places, or ideas. Follow them. You'll sense discomfort around things that used to feel fine. Pay attention. That's discernment increasing. You'll be drawn toward purpose, and old patterns will no longer fit. It's not rejection. It's redirection. It's proof that your inner world is now tuned to glory's frequency. The storm rewired your compass. Now it points toward destiny, not fear. The same wind that once threatened to sink you is now the wind filling your sails. That's the mystery of transformation. What once hurt you becomes what helps you. The weapon formed against you becomes the instrument that elevates you. So don't resent the storm. Honor it. It was the womb that birthed your wisdom. It was the forge that molded your fire. It was the night that made your light believable. And from this moment forward, every time you see rain, you'll remember it was rain that taught you how to bloom. Every time thunder rolls, you'll smile because you've learned the language of heaven's training ground. What you carry now cannot be taken. It was earned in the secret places of surrender. This is the spiritual depth behind your deliverance. The storm didn't just pass, it passed through you, leaving behind a testimony no one can argue. When heaven begins to shift your season, the signs rarely arrive with thunder. They whisper. You start to feel them before you see them. Small coincidences, repeated numbers, familiar scriptures appearing at random. Dreams that feel heavier, clearer, almost cinematic. These are not accidents, they are alignments. One sign you may notice first is divine timing. Suddenly, what used to delay now flows. Things that once required months of effort fall into place within days. Emails arrive the moment you pray. A conversation opens a door you didn't even know existed. It feels like ease, but it's actually evidence. The second sign is spiritual sensitivity. Your discernment sharpens. You can feel when something is off before words are even spoken. You'll notice your peace becomes protective. You no longer tolerate what drains your spirit. You'll find yourself guided to step away from confusion without guilt. That's not arrogance, it's evolution. The storm trained your spirit to recognize stillness. The third sign is confirmation through others. People begin saying things that echo the prayers you've been whispering. A stranger may use the exact phrase you cried to God about last week. That's heaven's language. It speaks through repetition until you realize you're not imagining it. Synchronicity is the Spirit's signature. The fourth sign is renewed strength. It's not that life suddenly gets easy, but you wake up lighter. The exhaustion that used to weigh on your chest begins to lift. You find yourself smiling for no reason, humming again, feeling alive again. That's resurrection energy, proof that the same God who allowed the storm has begun to restore the joy it drained. The fifth sign is favor in familiar places. People who once overlooked you now remember your name. Opportunities reappear, but this time, the timing fits. What was once rejection now returns as recognition. You realize it wasn't denial, it was divine delay. God waited until you were trained enough to handle what's being offered. The sixth sign is inner peace during outer uncertainty. Chaos may still move around you, but something inside you no longer flinches. You've learned that peace isn't the absence of storms, it's the presence of trust. And trust is the quiet knowing that no matter what rises against you, you will not drown again. All these signs serve one purpose: to remind you that the storm was never wasted. Each confirmation is heaven saying, you passed. You didn't just survive, you graduated. From this point, the confirmations will multiply. Expect patterns of alignment. Expect old prayers resurfacing in new ways. Expect acceleration, but stay grounded, because when glory follows, it amplifies both purpose and pressure. Yet even in that, your training holds. The storm made you steady. Now the signs will make you aware. They are not to impress you, they're to prepare you, to show you that the invisible realm has already shifted in your favor. Every sign is God's way of whispering, "Well done." There's something heaven wants you to understand before you move further. Every elevation attracts examination. When the storm ends and glory begins to follow, the air feels different. Lighter, brighter, but there are still unseen winds swirling around you. The very light that announces your breakthrough also exposes new shadows. These are the hidden challenges tests that appear gentle at first, but are designed to confirm whether the training truly rooted in you. The first challenge is spiritual distraction. After the storm, peace can feel unfamiliar. The quiet can almost be unsettling. You might find yourself tempted to fill it with noise, new projects, constant motion, because stillness feels strange. But listen carefully. Stillness is sacred. Do not rush what God is settling. Let your spirit rest before running again. The second challenge is old cycles returning in disguise. Sometimes the enemy doesn't create new traps. He recycles old ones with new wrapping. You might see the same type of person, the same situation, the same emotion trying to pull you back into what you've already healed from. That's not regression, it's revelation. It's God showing you how much stronger you've become. Recognize it, bless it, and walk away with peace. The third challenge is spiritual fatigue. When glory begins to move, energy shifts. You'll feel bursts of inspiration followed by sudden exhaustion. Don't panic. This is spiritual adjustment. You're learning to carry a heavier anointing. Pace yourself. Rest isn't weakness, it's wisdom. The same God who commanded you to fight also commands you to be still and know. The fourth challenge is human misunderstanding. When God elevates you, not everyone will celebrate you. Some will question the change, others will misinterpret it. That's why the storm taught you solitude, so that their opinions no longer shape your obedience. Keep your heart soft, but your focus sharp. You were not trained to please them. You were prepared to represent Him. The fifth challenge is silence from heaven. After major revelation, sometimes God grows quiet, not because He left, but because He's watching what you do with what you've already received. Silence is not absence, it's assessment. Continue walking as though you can still hear Him, and soon the next instruction will come. These challenges aren't punishments, they're pressure checks. They reveal whether you've learned to rely on peace rather than proof. They test whether your faith is dependent on feelings or founded on trust. And yet, even in these subtle struggles, grace is present. You'll find yourself remembering things you learned in the storm, how to pray through confusion, how to worship in uncertainty, how to anchor in hope when emotions waver. That memory is your shield now. You are not being attacked again. You are being refined to carry what follows. Glory increases weight, and weight requires foundation. The hidden challenges are heaven's final shaping touches, finishing what the storm started. Do not fear them. Recognize them, manage them, but never magnify them. Because behind every small resistance, there is a greater revelation waiting. The one who trained you through storms is the same one who walks beside you through stillness. You are not unprotected. You are being perfected. Now that the storm has fulfilled its purpose and the hidden challenges have been revealed, heaven releases this next phase divine instruction. This is not mere encouragement. This is strategy. Because where glory flows, alignment must follow. And to walk in this new season with strength, there are sacred steps you must take. The first instruction is stay anchored in gratitude. Gratitude is the frequency of glory. When you wake up each morning, resist the urge to focus on what's missing. Instead, whisper, "Thanks for what remains." Thank God for the lessons you didn't understand at the time. Thank Him for the doors that closed, because those closures protected your crown. Gratitude opens portals that complaining shuts. If you keep your heart thankful, heaven keeps your path clear. The second instruction is guard your atmosphere. Not everyone who clapped for you is capable of carrying your next chapter. Discern energy. Protect your peace. When you sense heaviness in a conversation, step back with love. Your sensitivity is not weakness, it's the Spirit's alarm system. Glory requires purity, and purity begins with boundaries. You're not being rude, you're being responsible. Because what God placed in you is too rare to be diluted by chaos. The third instruction is speak life continually. Words create weather. If storms can form through sound, then peace can be sustained by speech. Every day declare what God said even when you don't see it yet. Say, "I am covered. I am favored. I am growing." Say, "What God started, He will finish." When you speak alignment, your atmosphere adjusts to accommodate faith. Your mouth is not decoration, it's legislation. Use it to establish heaven's law over your life. The fourth instruction is keep moving in silence. Not every revelation deserves an audience. When God begins unveiling glory, it's tempting to share every detail. But premature exposure invites unnecessary warfare. Learn to carry sacred things quietly until they mature. The same way a seed develops underground, your next level is forming in the unseen. Protect it until it blossoms, then testify not to impress, but to glorify. The fifth instruction is stay sensitive to the Spirit's rhythm. There will be days when God calls you to move quickly, obey without hesitation. There will be moments He tells you to pause, honor the stillness. Your success is not in speed, it's in synchronization. Heaven moves in perfect timing. When you obey that rhythm, opportunities will seem effortless, because grace has already gone ahead to prepare the way. The sixth instruction is forgive before it's requested. The storm revealed betrayal, yes, but it also revealed how deep your heart can love. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it's freeing. When you release the weight of resentment, your spirit becomes light enough for glory to rest on. Unforgiveness is a blockage. Remove it and watch blessings flow unhindered. Forgive them, bless them, and keep walking. The seventh instruction is feed your fire daily. The glow that follows you is sustained by devotion. Make prayer your breath, not your emergency plan. Worship even when you don't feel inspired. Worship until you are. Read words that restore your spirit. Speak with people who remind you who you are. You are a flame. If you neglect the fire, darkness will try to creep back in. Stay burning. Stay aware. Stay in the Word. And the final instruction, expect acceleration, but remain humble. When glory manifests, doors open quickly, but pride closes them faster. Let your heart stay low so God can lift you higher. Remember, the purpose of this glory is not to make you famous, it's to make Him visible through you. Every success is an altar, not a throne. Give credit where it belongs. The same hands that lifted you can lift others through you. Heaven is strategic, not sentimental. The reason these instructions arrive now is because obedience after breakthrough matters more than obedience before it. Anyone can cling to God in pain. Only the trained know how to cling in peace. So follow these steps faithfully, not as ritual, but as relationship. This is how you remain aligned with the flow of glory that now surrounds you. Remember, training shaped you, but instruction sustains you. Glory is not a moment, it's a lifestyle. And if you keep walking in obedience, what begins as favor will mature into legacy. You've walked through the storm. You've followed divine instruction. Now hear this, you are covered. Heaven has surrounded you, and the same hand that trained you in the fire now shelters you in the light. You may not always feel it, but there is a spiritual perimeter around your life, invisible yet impenetrable. Where you go, angels go before you. When you sleep, the Spirit stands watch. When you speak, authority flows, because your words now carry the seal of divine backing. Nothing that once harmed you can reach you the same way again. The storm didn't just refine you, it redefined your protection. The lessons you learned have become your armor. The prayers you prayed in tears have become your shield. The obedience you practiced in silence has become your sword. You are not the same person who entered the storm. You carry spiritual immunity. There is a peace resting on you that confuses the enemy. It's not the peace of circumstances, it's the peace of sovereignty. It whispers, God is in control, and I am safe. Even when the world trembles, you remain anchored, because your foundation is no longer built on comfort. It's built on covenant. Heaven wants you to know, I have assigned angels to your steps. My presence will go with you and give you rest. The arrows of envy, the whispers of doubt, the weapons of fear, none will prosper. I have hidden you in plain sight, covered you with favor, and clothed you with light. From now on, discernment will serve as your first line of defense. When something is not aligned, your spirit will tighten. Listen. When peace withdraws, pause. That pause is protection. It's heaven tugging you away from harm. You'll notice also that your environment begins to mirror your inner state. Chaos will avoid you because your frequency no longer matches confusion. People drawn to drama will find themselves uncomfortable around your calm. Don't take it personally. That's divine filtration. Only those in resonance with peace can stay near you now. And when attacks attempt to resurface as whispers, temptations, or sudden anxieties, remember this. You've already survived what was designed to destroy you. You've already faced what others feared and came out carrying light. You are not a victim of warfare. You are a witness of grace. Even in moments of uncertainty, repeat this truth. I am covered by the blood. I am surrounded by angels. I am walking under open heaven. That declaration carries more weight than any weapon formed against you. Your protection is not fragile, it's fortified. The God who commanded storms to train you will not allow stray winds to undo you. He has you marked, guarded, and guided. Rest now in that assurance. You do not need to fight for what God is already defending. The battle that once exhausted you is now being fought on your behalf. Heaven has taken your case, and victory has already been decreed. You are safe. You are seen. You are surrounded. This is where everything begins to make sense. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every lonely chapter, they were not endings. They were foundations. You were being rewritten, refined, reborn. And now the transformation is not approaching, it's happening. You can feel it already. There's a quiet strength beneath your skin, a confidence that doesn't need validation. You're no longer asking, why me? Now you whisper, thank you, God. It had to be me. Because you see what the pain produced, clarity, compassion, authority. The very storms that were meant to silence you gave birth to your sound. Transformation begins subtly. You wake up one morning and realize you're not triggered by the same things. The voices of doubt that once echoed in your mind now sound distant. The heaviness that sat on your chest for years suddenly lifts, and peace becomes your new default. This is not coincidence, it's fulfillment. Heaven is confirming. The training has done its work. Every transformation has evidence. Look around. People who once overlooked you will notice a light they can't explain. Doors that were bolted shut now swing open. You'll see sudden reversals. What was delayed will accelerate. What was broken will restore. And through it all, you'll carry humility because you know what it cost. You've learned to celebrate quietly, to give glory without competition, because your victory is not about status, it's about service. God is not just blessing you to show off. He's blessing you to show through you. You are becoming the proof that pain can produce purpose, that faith still moves mountains, that divine timing never fails. There's another layer to this transformation, the internal shift of identity. You used to see yourself as the one always fighting to survive. Now you move like someone born to reign. You've transitioned from praying for rescue to walking in authority. You've stopped begging for open doors and started realizing you are the door. Where you go, favor enters. Where you stand, peace settles. Where you speak, light follows. That's what it means for God's glory to follow you. It moves through you. Every conversation you touch becomes an opportunity for healing. Every project you start carries supernatural momentum. Every decision made in alignment ripples far beyond your sight. This is not luck. This is legacy being activated. The world is beginning to witness what heaven already declared. Your transformation is complete. Fulfillment doesn't mean the absence of challenge, it means the arrival of clarity. Now you understand why it had to happen that way. The rejection was redirection. The delay was development. The silence was strategy. All of it leading you to this, a place where peace and purpose finally agree. So breathe this in. You made it. Not by chance, not by strength alone, but by grace. You endured the storm, mastered the training, and now you walk clothed in light. You are living prophecy, the living testimony that no suffering is wasted when surrendered to God. From here forward, expect everything to respond differently, because you are different. Your thoughts create peace now, not panic. Your presence calms rooms instead of absorbing chaos. You have become a carrier of glory, not in flashes of emotion, but in quiet consistency. And as this transformation settles in, heaven whispers one more truth. This is only the beginning. The glory that follows you is not the finale. It is the introduction to destiny fulfilled. You were trained for this moment. You were built for this purpose. And now the fulfillment of every promise begins to unfold step by step, light by light, glory upon glory. Take a deep breath. Let this truth settle into the deepest part of your spirit. You made it through what was meant to end you. You are not standing here by luck or coincidence. You are standing because purpose refused to let you fall. Heaven has seen your endurance, and now heaven rewards your faith. The storm was your training ground, and now glory follows every step you take. Repeat these words after me aloud, with conviction, as declarations over your new season 1. I am no longer defined by my past. I am refined by my process. Every scar tells a story of strength, not shame. You carry evidence, not wounds. 2. God's glory goes before me, surrounds me, and follows behind me. You are not walking alone. You are walking in covenant light. Everywhere your feet touch, favor responds. 3. I am aligned with divine timing, anchored in peace and protected by purpose. You move in rhythm with heaven now. Delay is no longer denial. It's design. 4. What once broke me now builds me. Every storm has become soil for miracles. You are not fragile. You are fortified. Now lift your heart and receive this blessing. May the same God who guided you through the storm now crown you with peace. May His glory walk beside you, making crooked paths straight and silent prayers seen. May you overflow with wisdom that others can feel but cannot explain. May your presence heal what words cannot, and may your light expose only truth and love. No matter where you go from here, you will not walk as the same person who began this journey. You will carry calm into chaos. You will bring clarity where there is confusion. You will rebuild what was broken, not because of what you have, but because of who walks with you. The storm taught you to trust. The training taught you to listen. The glory now teaches you to shine. Heaven declares, "This one carries my presence." That's you, anointed, awakened, and assigned. You were hidden for a season, so that when you rose, the world would know God was with you all along. So step forward with assurance. Move gently, but boldly. You are light in motion, purpose in progress, prophecy fulfilled. And as you go, remember this final truth. The storm was training, but the glory is forever.